Welcome to Tibara's Den. My name is Whitney and welcome to another CAS Monday. We are on the second part of our Taurus portion of the Zodiac series we are doing. If you haven't seen the previous videos, definitely check them out. I kind of explain more what I'm doing in those videos, but we've already completed the Aries portion of the Zodiac series, and now, like I said, we are on to Taurus. We did the sim based on Taurus last week along with their Chinese Zodiac twin of the snake, and now we are working on the Primal Zodiac signs, which just take your Western Zodiac sign and combines it with your Chinese Zodiac sign, and that is what Primal Zodiac is. All the websites where I got all my information from are also linked in the description below, so you can check those out as well in case you want to learn a little bit more. But right now we are working on Samwise Seagull, and that takes the sign of Taurus and combines it with the Chinese Zodiac year of the dog. So I'm going to go ahead and read the little information blurb about the seagulls real quick, and like I said, that website is linked in the description below. But it says, funny, loyal, and magnetic, those born under the sign of the seagull like to keep things light and easy. They are idealists who also want the world to be more idealistic with them. They like discussing their philosophies about life with anyone who shares their opinions, though they are not confrontational enough to want to argue with someone about whose opinion is right or wrong. Some people consider seagulls to be immature, which is partially accurate. Seagulls usually grow up with a specific role in their family and never really shed this role as they grow up. They will likely still do what their parents tell them to do, whether they agree with it or not. Seagulls take the attitude of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If they are comfortably secure in their current lifestyle, it's going to be difficult to get them to change it. All seagulls really want to do is have a good time, which can make it difficult for them to focus when it comes time to work. More than anything, though, seagulls are loyal, and so they show up and do their duty in return for enough money to provide the basic security that they need to feel stable. Members of the sign like nice things but don't need to have them. They prefer love and friendship over money or success, and will only really work if they have to, or if they find a field that they are genuinely interested in. In most cases, seagulls will reach the point in a point in their adult lives where they will be challenged to start acting their age. On their own, they would be content being a college student for the rest of their lives, but even they know that their lifestyle is not sustainable. Seagulls find the daily grind of reality depressing, and there are few things more difficult to be around than a seagull in a bad mood. This is an unfortunate truth that members of the sign will need to come to terms with. They attract people to them with their fun and easygoing nature, but when they are down and out, seagulls notoriously become moody, depressed complainers who can't seem to find a glass that isn't half empty. This is part of the reason that others find members of the sign to be immature. Seagulls are artistic by nature and enjoy coming up with unusual solutions to common problems. They are also socially aware and consider themselves free thinkers who believe strongly in social justice and equal rights for all people. They don't like to argue these beliefs with anyone, and others usually learn quickly after a rare angry outburst or two. And then they talk about, different jobs that are compatible for seagulls, and it just talks about that they want to do a really good job, they're loyal to their employers, they are intelligent and capable workers, they can become dedicated to a point of obsession, and then they often dream of striking out on their own, but most have too much anxiety and self-doubt to see that through. And some famous seagulls are Corey Monteith, Kirsten Dunst, Kelly Clarkson, Tina Fey, Andre Agassi, Uma Thurman, Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, Andre the Giant, Candice Bergen, and Shirley MacLaine. So those are some famous seagulls. I named him Samwise because it means half-wise or simple, natural, and pure. And so I kind of thought that went with, that they're kind of light and easy, and they kind of have the idealists, so they're a bit naive and a little bit immature. I made his career under education under the professor branch, and then his aspiration is innovator, just because since they are idealists and kind of want the world to be a better place, I thought that would be a good aspiration for him. And then traits are goofball, good, and outgoing. And so for his style, I really tried to go with kind of awkward professor vibes, if that makes sense, which I'm gonna do the first looks as always for all these guys, and then you will see their final looks for each different outfit type at the end of the video. But that's kind of what I was going for. So he's kind of awkward. He tries to look put together, but he never really succeeds. I tried to do that with his hairstyle too. Like he tries to sweep it back, but it ends up kind of falling in his face and it doesn't really stay put. I do give him glasses. His pants are always a little too short, and his socks, which tend to have a lot of patterns and are colorful, are always peeking through. Things like that. That's kind of what I was going for my seagull here. And I absolutely adore him so much. Like, he is so cute, and I think he might be one of my favorites out of this group. I don't know for sure, but he is, I just adore him. So that was my seagull, Samwise. And now we are on to my rattlesnake. And so for rattlesnakes, this combines the sign of Taurus with the Chinese zodiac year of the dragon. And it says, strong, focused, and proud, those born under the primal zodiac sign of the rattlesnake have an insatiable drive and tireless work ethic. Few people can keep up with their energy, and even less can match their persistence. They know it too, and most rattlesnakes expect to be respected due to their inherent power and their earned success. Members of the sign like nice things and want to live the good life. A big, beautiful home tops the rattlesnake's priority list, followed by lots of nice things to show off. In truth, they are a bit overly impressed by shows of wealth and status. Deep down, what they really want is respect and adoration, but they inherently know that accumulating money is the easiest way to impress others, and they have to be quite skilled at doing just that. Careers are often the focal point of the rattlesnake's life. Strong and capable workers, they are also effective group leaders and do best when they are in charge. Too often, though, they try to take on big projects by themselves. It's not that they don't trust anyone else to get things done, they just know that they are capable of doing it all. This usually means that they overload themselves and eventually get bogged down and burned out. Rattlesnakes need to learn how to use their inherent leadership skills to delegate responsibility. They can get much more accomplished and in the long run by using their charm and influence to convince others to join their cause. Members of the sign are incredibly stubborn and have a well-earned reputation for being inflexible. They're not tyrants, but they have high expectations of others, though they never expect more from others than they expect from themselves. Like their animal namesakes, those are born under the sign of the rattlesnake are not very tolerant of those who cross them. They will almost always give you a warning, though, before they strike out, and that warning should be heeded. When pushed too far, they can lash out quickly and ferociously. An angry rattlesnake can be extremely dangerous. And then it goes on to talk about rattlesnakes need to have something greater than themselves to live for. Their forward-focused signs will chase after wealth, accomplishment, status, power, and they will feel empty when they finally stop to rest. If they follow that path, finding a bigger purpose in life to put their talents and energy into will be a big life purpose for the sign. And so that's kind of the rattlesnake. They're good with money, so financial advisors, brokers, investment makers, things like that are good for them as a career, and of course they can do well in any career they choose. Some famous rattlesnakes are Adele, Joey Lawrence, Stephen Colbert, Hank Azaria, Cedric the Entertainer, George Strait, Shirley Temple Black, Aaron Spelling, Sigmund Freud, and Florence Nightingale. They were all famous rattlesnakes. So I named him Rabis, which means a powerful, dauntless person. His career, I went ahead and put him in business in the investor branch. His aspiration is, of course, mansion baron. His traits are materialistic, ambitious, and self-assured. And so you can see I went very businessy with his looks and kind of brown tones to kind of go with rattlesnake. I live in New Mexico, so I know all about rattlesnakes. And then I actually give him the boots that he just had on. I kind of like the idea, like, you know, as a sim, you know, he could go and maybe stomp on a rattlesnake or something like that. I don't know. It just gave me tough vibes, and so I kept those boots as his shoes. And for most of his looks, he's very kind of put together and just well off looking. Like he looks like a businessman, and he looks like he knows how to make money. So I really enjoyed creating him as him too. And I really like the way he looks. I think he turned out pretty cool. I had a good base sim to start with too, which really helped as well. So I wanted to give him glasses for this look, but it just didn't quite fit right. And I thought about putting some on his head, but the two pairs I have are custom content pairs. And I don't know, I need to find some for males that are like cats like that. Just because it always kind of looks a little bit odd on my male sims. So that is Rabis Rattlesnake. And now we are on to our yak, which combines Taurus with the Chinese zodiac year of the ox. So her name is Yolanthe, which means strong, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, and I apologize. I did listen to how it's pronounced, but I'm horrible at pronunciation. And for her, it says, stubborn determination is the hallmark of the yak. Those born under the sign simply do not accept no for an answer. Hard work and dedication to a cause will earn you the highest respect in a yak's eyes. Members of the sign tend to see things as black or white, meaning that there is rarely a middle ground to any situation. People's actions are either right or wrong. Things are either good or bad. People are either hard workers or lazy slobs. The word compromise does not exist in the vocabulary of the yak. They know how they feel and have no reason to question it. Yaks hate change. They prefer a steady, dependable routine where they can focus their efforts on moving forward one day at a time. Working is where they feel most comfortable, whether in their career or in their homes, in their gardens or on their hobbies. Yaks tend to live for future goals rather than for the moment. It can take a lot of convincing to get them to take a break. It's too bad, too, because a well-rested and serene yak can be one of the best companions to have around. Finding a balance between work and life, or rather living for the future versus living for the present, should be an important goal for everyone born under this sign. It is notable that some of history's most notorious dictators were yak. Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, Niccolo Machiavelli, though all in very different ways, believed passionately and resolutely that fear and force among one's own people were necessary components to creating and maintaining a strong following. This, of course, doesn't mean that yaks are evil or inhumane. Rather, comparing these former leaders shows that many yaks share the traits of having a steadfast and uncompromising worldview that they truly believe is best for all others to follow. The otherwise quiet and thoughtful yak can become quite empathetic in sharing their passionate political views. One of this sign's major life purposes is to learn to see past their own point of view and accept the ideas of others, even if they personally disagree with them. And then it talks, of course, about careers. They don't need to be in charge, but they do need to have enough freedom to control their own destinies. They're more concerned with a hard day's work than sitting in meetings all day. Many yaks become involved with agriculture in one way or another. They can till, water, and fertilize land from dusk to dawn, then leave sun, rain, and land to do the rest by its own nature. They make great farmers, gardeners, ranchers, horticulturists, and even chefs. A yak who is a chef almost always grows their own food, or at least buys from local farms, where they can trust that no shortcuts were taken to compromise the quality of the ingredients. And so some famous yak were Audrina Patridge, Lily Allen, Tori Spelling, Dennis Rodman, George Clooney, George Lopez, Billy Joel, Jessica Lange, Madeleine Albright, George Carlin, Frankie Valli, Saddam Hussein, Jack Nicholson, George Takei, Malcolm X, Gary Cooper, Adolf Hitler, and Niccolo Machiavelli were all famous yaks. Her career, I gave her gardener, the botanist branch, and she's a freelance botanist is her aspiration. Her traits are proper, perfectionist, and foodie. So that's what I gave her, and again, her name means strong. So for her, I really tried to go kind of a more practical route and a lot of like earthy tones for her looks, her different looks. I think as a gardener, you know, it's not that she doesn't enjoy, you know, looking put together or anything, but she would prefer to be very practical about her outfits, and you know, they would suit the different situations and things like that. And I ran through a lot of different shirts before I settled on one. It's quite the process trying to decide her outfit, But I really like how she turned out too. I mean, I'm pretty much a fan of all these Sims. I've really been enjoying this series so far and the inspiration I'm getting. And I actually go with this shirt here. It's more gray, which I would have preferred like a brown color. And then I just went with a basic set of pants for her everyday look. You know, I could see her working in the garden, so something that's pretty practical and comfortable for working in the garden all day, I thought was definitely a must. And then I just give her a basic set of sneakers, like nothing too fancy, nothing over the top. She does wear a watch, like I said. They would put a lot of stock into work, and so she wears a watch to kind of keep track of time, make sure she's getting out, going to work on time. And then she also has a garden at home as well, where she grows her own food, and she's probably the main cook in the house. I can see her doing that, and so I did cheat her cooking skill up, since I gave her the gardener aspiration instead of like a chef aspiration. I still wanted that cooking aspect for her. And then I don't see her wearing a lot of makeup or jewelry or anything, but I just gave her like a simple pearl earrings for her jewelry. Nothing too fancy again. And so that is Yolante, and I really like how she turned out too. Like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of all these Sims I've created so far. And so last, I don't know, it's kind of a tie between Samwise and the Sim here. But I have Buta, which means one who heals with plants. And this is a buffalo, which combines the sign of Taurus with the Chinese zodiac year of the sheep. And I think she might kind of take the lead over Samwise for my favorite Sim in this group, because I really, really like her. But it says, hardworking, patient, and intelligent, those born under the sign of the buffalo have no problem taking a back seat to more dominant personalities. Dependable, trustworthy, and kind, this is a sign of quiet, well-mannered individuals whose reputation is as important to them as their appearance. Buffalo have their own standards to live up to and can be nearly impossible to convince to stray from their moral and ethical beliefs. They are mostly calm and peaceful, but can become extremely aggressive if pushed too far. Buffalo are mildly social, but otherwise not very adventurous. Unlike some other signs, they don't mind having a routine to follow, as long as it serves some kind of purpose for them. This preference usually comes through in their career choice, but not always. Buffalo have great stores of passion and resilience, just waiting to take on a worthy project. But they don't bring that passion to what they're doing if they flat out don't like it. Members of the sign can come across as lazy and nervous when they're not well balanced, though the real uncertainty is much greater inside than out. Buffalo dislike change as much as they dislike making important decisions. This partly explains why they don't like working as leader on projects. They would rather go on autopilot and follow their routine than have to face the pressures of being in charge. When balanced, buffaloes are elegant and patient individuals with great taste in food, clothes, and decor. They are gracious hosts who enjoy displays of wealth and generosity. They like luxuries of all kinds, including and especially good food, wine, and entertainment. Most buffalo have nice homes and enjoy the beauty of the natural world. Those born under the sign of the buffalo are both intelligent and artistic, but are not very entrepreneurial. Though they like to spend time alone, they ultimately prefer working in groups and having a specific role to play. Unlike other signs, buffalo don't mind routine. In fact, it often provides exactly the sense of comfortable security they need. On the other hand, members of the sign like money and are good with it, though they tend to overspend a little too often. And then it talks about how artistic they are, and this is usually a hidden talent, which will come into play when I do my build a little bit. And so they can be, a musician, dancer, florist, but they can also be good as a painter, gallery owner, or museum guide. In fact, old art is often more attractive to them than new art. And so they can also be history teachers, antique dealers, or auctioneers. And then interior and furniture design is also a good fit for these guys. And so some famous ones were Rosario Dawson, Lance Bass, Tim McGraw, Bill Paxton, Willie Mays, Katharine Hepburn, Rudolph Valentino, and Thomas Gainsborough were all famous buffaloes. So for her, like I said, her name means one who heals with plants, which I decided to give her the gardener career as well, but under the floral designer branch, since florist is a good career for them and they do like the natural world. And then her traits are proper, snob, and she loves the outdoors. So I really enjoy this sim. Like I said, she's probably my favorite out of this group. And I went with this hairstyle here because it kind of gave me natural hippie vibes along with like a little bit of Native American vibes, which when I think buffalo, that's what I think of. And so I really like this hairstyle here, and it had the flowers on it. And I actually changed this hairband because the hairband actually has a matching outfit, which I didn't realize. And so I have the matching outfit, and I'm pretty sure this hair and the matching outfit, the Sims Resource had like a retro collection that they did, and I got like a ton of stuff from that, and I think that's where this came from, and I just really really loved it. And so I went with this top here. I like the flowers along the line. It was purple. I just got a lot of purple vibes from this sim. But like I said, I do end up going back in and changing the headband because I use this headband for, I think it's her party look with the matching outfit that goes with it. So I just, wanted something a little different for this look. But yeah, this look is pretty cool. I like the flowers, and then she has like purple pants, which you'll see, which I think just looks so cool. Definitely not something I would have thought I would have created in a million years, but I really really like it, so I'm glad I did create it because I think it's a little bit out there, but I really like how it looks. So you'll see the pants here in a minute. I go through a bunch of different options as always, but these pants here are the ones I end up keeping. And I don't know, it's so vibrant and it's so fun, and I think it really works for the sim, especially because it said when they're balanced, they can kind of be fashionable and have good tasting decor and things like that. So I really like the idea of her, spending money on like different pieces that kind of stand out and things like that. So this is her everyday outfit, and I think it's just a lot of fun. And then her shoes, I go with these boots here in kind of a light purple, almost white, but I think it works well for this outfit as well. And then, I thought about a little bit of jewelry. I think I do give her a little bracelet, but just a simple one, nothing too fancy. None of the other ones that I really liked how they looked. I can see her, kind of glamming it up with different bracelets, and especially like very loud statement pieces, but just none of the ones I found I liked how they looked on her, so I ended up just going with this simple bracelet here. And then of course she would definitely do her makeup, and so I have this eyeshadow. It's custom content eyeshadow, and I really really like it, and I can't remember, you'll see it here in a little bit. I think I have several, well not several, like a couple that have the same color palette on them, but one of them is very like bold and like a lot, so I didn't really use that one. But the other one is like perfect, and it combined like the blue and the purple like perfectly together. So there's this one, but it was just way too much. It just didn't like it. And this one, again, has the right color, but just didn't really like it. And so this is the eyeshadow I'm talking about right here, where it combines the blue and the purple, but it's not too much. And I just think it's really, really pretty, and it ties in nicely with everything she's wearing right now. And even when I changed the headband, it still looks really really good together. And then of course blush is kind of hard, so I went with just a basic blush that kind of highlights her cheeks a little bit, but nothing too over the top for that as well. And then just some lipstick, which I struggled a little bit with the lipstick. I think with whatever skin overlay I did, it kind of was messing with her lips with the lipstick, so it was kind of hard to find one that didn't mess with her lips and then also had the right color I was going for. So I used this lipstick here, and I was just trying to kind of play around with the color and decide which color I liked. But that is her look. I really, like I said, enjoyed creating her, and I definitely think she's my favorite. And then you can see there I changed the headband. But I'm going to leave you guys here. Going to go through all their looks so you can kind of get a sense of their overall style. And of course, there's screenshots at the end, and you kind of get a little sneak preview of their build. And yeah, remember to check back on Friday. We will do the final 2 sims for this house. And then Saturday will be their build, the first house build, just because I want you guys to see that before I move on to the next house. So I'm going to leave you guys here. I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you all on Friday. Bye.